Hello, is it Nicholas?
Yes, hey Justin.
Nice to meet you, Nicholas. You from Brazil, that's right?
Yes, that's right. Correct.
Okay. And what would you like to talk about or discuss today?
About nothing, just want to meet you, have a little chat.
Okay.
I got very interested on your profile
Yeah,
because you were saying that you're currently based here in Brazil as well,
yeah,
right?
Sao Paulo.
In São Paulo.
Yeah, not the city, but the state. I don't live in the city of Sao Paulo.
Yes, where is the name of the city you live in?
The city I live in is very small. It's São Carlos
S-
is the nearest city that people
São
know,
Carlos.
but Descalvado is the place or the town I live in.
Ah, right.
It's only
So
like
it's more of the countryside.
yeah, people call it the countryside, but
Yes,
you know
okay.
the
Yeah.
there's a difference between countryside and um, like wild farmland, I suppose. That
Yeah, yes,
a countryside in
that's very
England
different.
is very organised and pretty and it's safe to walk and
Yes, yes, that's true.
without trespassing. So yeah,
That's true.
but technically, yeah, you're right. So,
Okay.
so what about you
So,
then, Nick? Where are you from?
I also live in São Paulo as well, but I
Uh,
live here in the capital, in
ah,
the
okay,
North Zone. It's a neighborhood called Freguesia do Ó. It's very near the capital. It's
okay,
inside the capital, but it's one of the zones here from
okay,
São Paulo.
okay. So
So I think we would be nice to introduce myself a little bit more to you.
mhm,
Um, I had a few classes here on Cambly. I'm
mhm,
just like getting to meet new teachers,
mhm,
have contact with little different accents, try to practice my English a little bit more. And I currently work for a consulting company.
mhm,
We work with different ERP systems
mhm,
like SAP, Oracle.
mhm.
The area I work with, we work with a tool called Oracle Enterprise Performance Management,
Okay.
and the one of the modules I act on it's about financial consolidation and close. So we have our clients, and with this tool, this software we work with, we help them to automate different types of reports,
Mhm,
financial statements that they have to publicize for the market, the general public.
mhm,
So we've come to contact with a client, and start to build this project. So we've gathered all their data, and we start to build all the reports, all the
mhm,
forms that they will use to automate what they have to publicize, and we start building it. And after we finish building this environment, we start the testing phase. It's called UAT. It's user acceptance testing.
okay.
So I'm currently on a project, a national client here from São Paulo as well,
Mhm,
and we are on this phase. We just start to mm, test all the forms, all the reports that we've built, and
mhm,
to see if it's working correctly, to see if
mhm,
there's any trouble within it.
mhm,
And then after we finish the project, you just go into other projects with different tools, different clients. And the company I work for, it's Italian multinational.
mhm.
Is it correct to say it's Italian multinational? It's a multinational Italian.
It's just a multinational company.
It's
From
a
Italy.
multinational
Yeah,
company
it's
that's based on Italy.
yeah, it's based
S-
in Italy.
Italy.
Yeah, in
Okay.
Italy. Use the preposition in. It's based in Italy.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So they have a lot of headquarters around the world, like in
Mm,
Spain, Portugal, US, here in Brazil as well, in Recife, São
mm,
Paulo, Rio de
mm,
Janeiro, Minas
mhm,
Gerais. And some colleagues also work for international clients. So
mhm,
I know that probably sometime I'm gonna have this opportunity and this challenge to talk with international clients, and I try to prepare myself just to uh, get fluency on the language,
Mhm.
to have a little bit more familiarity
Mhm.
with English when discussing about technical issues, or
Mhm.
just get to and bring up relevant points with the client that we will probably need for the project.
Mhm.
So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, that's quite a lot actually.
Yeah.
So obviously, your the the career or the field that you work in, maybe a lot of the vocabulary, a lot of the acronyms you've just thrown at me are
Yes.
absolutely straight over my head, because obviously I'm in education, I'm not in IT, I'm not in
Yes.
that field. But as far as day-to-day language, of course, I'm native. So when it comes to certain expressions that they may use in the US that they may or may not use in the UK, and the differences between cultures, of course, those are things I will recognize. But
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the technical terms, and what you have to describe to those people, it's I can help with a part of how you structure it together if you're finding it difficult. But obviously, you're advanced in the language. No doubt, you've been learning English from a very young age. Some of the vocabulary you use, not many do. Like within, this
Mm-hmm.
word is not often used. They might say in or inside rather than within. So
Yes.
little words stand out to me that suggest that you're advanced in the language, and your comfortability with speaking for long periods without me interrupting you or
Mm-hmm.
needing to interrupt you. So
Yeah, that's good.
so that's a good sign. The vast majority of people I speak to from Brazil are
Mm-hmm.
intermediate at best. So, and they often make big errors with grammar, because
Mm-hmm.
Portuguese grammar is different to English, as you know. So, but
Yes.
you don't seem to have that problem. So
That's
that's
great.
a good sign.
That's great. I studied since I was like a toddler.
Yeah.
I always had this technology background since
Mm,
I was a child, like getting contact with computers, video
mhm,
games, and I've
mhm,
always known that I wanted to get into the IT market,
mhm, mhm,
and my parents always encouraged me to practice more, get
mhm,
this contact with English.
mhm,
So I studied a lot of English, but to practice more speaking with natives, it's
mhm.
one of my first opportunities to uh, being here on Cambly and speaking with other natives.
Indeed.
And I feel like I have a lot of contact with English during my day,
Mhm,
because all the tools we work with, all the documentation,
mhm,
all the environment that we work inside of it, it's all in English.
mhm,
So uh, uh, anything that we need to search it up, if we're having an issue with a
mhm,
client, or we're not being able to build something up and
mhm,
having some issues, we have to go into some community or a guide to search for some help.
mhm,
It's everything in English, so
mhm,
we have this contact daily.
mhm. Yeah, that
And
makes a big difference, doesn't it? If
yes,
people only use it now and again in their job, or they they're looking to get a job where they might work in
yes.
an multinational company, but they're not
Hmm.
exposed to the language on a like at least a weekly basis, then they struggle to make that next step.
Hmm.
So, you know, it's
Yes,
it's
and
something that you no doubt have benefited from, obviously, hugely, because it's exposure. It's all about exposure to
yes.
language.
Yes, and that's true, and mainly about the technical vocabulary about
Mhm,
the tool we're working with. So
mhm,
for me, it's common,
mhm,
so I don't have a lot of trouble about discussing with technical issues or
mhm.
technical parts of the tool we're working with.
Yeah.
And I'm a person who really likes to watch a movie,
Mhm,
series, and when I didn't had the financial support to study more English, and
Mhm.
I started to learn by myself, like
Mhm.
watching a movie and
Mhm.
just putting on the subtitles on English, and
Mhm.
like every word that I didn't know the meaning of, I just write it down on a paper sheet and
Mhm.
search it up after, and
Mhm.
like try to make some sentences, you know,
Mhm.
and to practice that word that I didn't get at first.
Okay.
And this helped me a lot, like mainly about building the vocabulary, and also to understand more the spoken English.
Mhm.
So about understanding what other people are saying, that's
Mhm.
no problem for me because I'm very used to.
Yeah.
Even for different accents, like if it's a hard British accent, or a Scottish, Irish
Mhm.
accent, I can understand.
Mhm.
Even if that takes a little bit more of time just to like
Mhm.
snap in my brain into
Yeah.
understand the sentence, what the the person said,
Mhm.
but I can understand.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good way of doing it. I mean, I had the same thing when I first moved to Brazil. I didn't
Mm,
really speak the language at all. I must be honest. My wife is
yes.
Brazilian. That's why I'm here. People will say, "What are you doing in Brazil? You're English." You know.
Hmm.
Um, if you lived in England for 36 years, you'd understand
That's a
why.
lot.
Okay, miserable weather for 36 years, and
Yes, yes.
uh, I've always been a person who's loved my summer holidays, and I always wanted to live in somewhere like Italy or Spain or the south of France, but
Hmm.
unfortunately, um, I the circumstances didn't allow me to live somewhere like that. But when I met my
Hmm.
wife in England, we met in England, you know, and we
She's
lived.
Brazilian.
She's Brazilian, but she
Mm,
was in England at the time when we met,
yes.
and we spent some time together, and then eventually we got married, and then I, after
That's
like
great.
5 years of marriage, we decided to move here because
Yes.
she has a huge family all in this small town. And to be honest, my job, it doesn't really matter where I am, you know.
Yes, that's great because I believe that here in Brazil, all the people that have their job outside the country, like earning in a strong currency like
Yeah,
British pounds or
yeah,
dollars, even, has a much better life here
yeah, yeah.
than earning in reais.
Well, especially now that Trump's come into power, it's
Yes,
doing
the
wonders.
dollar is 6 to 1.
I know, you know, like Cambly is dollars, but I work for another company as well,
That's great.
and that's in
I didn't
pounds,
know that.
and pounds
That's
are so much
pounds.
stronger.
Mm,
And but it's not like teaching. It's
mm.
I manage and advise companies in the
Wow.
UK on the construction industry, which is what I used to work in years ago.
Oh, that's different.
So my experience in the construction and logistics and you know management industry go back like to the 90s, you know. So,
Hmm.
but when I finally decided to move to Brazil, I took on uh, obviously prior to coming here, I
Hmm.
did courses on teaching English as a foreign language, taught some
Yes.
Portuguese speaking people in England. And then eventually, when I moved to Brazil, I set up my own language school where people work for us.
Wow, that's great.
And then my wife runs that now. So, and then during the pandemic, because of the restrictions, of course,
Uh-huh.
I took on Cambly as well, you know,
That's
and
very good.
I stuck with it. I'm not always on here though. I'm not always here because of my other two jobs take
Hmm.
time. So,
It
but
takes some time of your schedule.
yeah, yeah. But as you say, the beauty of it is it doesn't matter where I am really. I can do the same jobs from anywhere.
That's great.
My wife can't because it's local people, but I
Uh-huh.
can. So I do a lot of traveling, but she doesn't. So I
Hmm.
go back to the UK a lot, but it's often on my own because she's
Mm,
committed to her job. So, but
yes,
aside from that,
that's hard.
the Cambly salary it's not a salary. You just get paid for every minute you talk. So,
Mm.
but it's pathetic really in comparison to what
Really?
what
It's not worth it?
Americans would earn if they were teaching in a school, or what British teachers would earn if they were teaching in school. But that's not how I make my money. So it's not a big problem. My money is made in England for the work I do for this company. So it doesn't matter. But I think if I was trying to survive just on the Cambly hourly rate they pay, I wouldn't be much better off than a Brazilian average person. So it's the UK job that pays the bills.
Much
so,
better, yes.
But living and working in the UK is different though, because the cost of living is so much higher than here.
Yes, I imagine.
Like people don't realize there's things like council tax. You have to pay like up to, I don't know, 2,000-3,000 reais a month just for the privilege of living in your own house. It's called council tax. Like
yes, council tax.
Yeah, you've got lots of insurances that you have to make sure you have that people here don't bother with. You know, half of them here don't even bother insuring their vehicles.
Yes.
In England, it's an absolute necessity. It's illegal not to. But even like business insurances and indemnity insurances and loss of, you know, even if you're injured off work, you have to have insurances and things like this, because the cost of living and your mortgage, your finance, what do they call it here? Financiamento, when you buy a house. I think it is, yeah.
Yes.
Like, it's so high in comparison to here. You know, buying a house in Brazil isn't that expensive in comparison to
really.
Yeah, in England it's way.
You think it's not expensive here?
It's really cheap here.
Wow. Wow.
So you know,
That's
when your financiamento is like 10,000 reais a month, then you're getting close to the UK. So
wow.
You know, you're talking. You can't really buy a house for less than 1 million reais. A very, very small, in a very
that's
simple
true.
town,
That's
right?
true.
If you're talking London, just times that by 20. You know,
really,
because the cheapest you'll find a house in London is probably 1.2 to 1.5 million pounds in London, and of course most of the properties are much higher, much higher.
And about like the purchasing power that you have about the currency. Spending on pounds in
Britain. It used to be really good before Brexit. Brexit changed everything. They've ruined the country. Yeah. The argument was that the first 10 to 15 years would be a struggle, but after that it will pay dividends. It will start to come back.
Yes. Because the currency will have more power than the euro, right?
Well, the negotiations, they promised negotiate, you know, leaving Europe, we would then deal more with other countries like China, Australia, the US, India, you know, Pakistan, etc., Russia. But of course, Russia then goes into World War. It isn't, but, you know, those two back to back. The pandemic, then you had Brexit, and then you had the Russian war. That's just completely ruined the plan.
Yes, so, ruins the plan because it's how may I say, it's a plan for like 10, 15 years, like you said, right?
Yeah, it's probably going to be more like 50 now. So you know, for those of my generation, their you know, their plans are gone completely out the window, as the idiom we use. So everybody's finding it more difficult. The cost of living has gone up. Inflation in Brazil has been a problem as well. It's been a problem all over.
Yes, it's one of the biggest in the world, actually.
Yeah. I mean, Turkey,
because the real is how may I say?
The inflation has been like, it depends what you buy, doesn't it? You know.
Yes, but the real is depreciating a lot by year.
Yeah.
Because the government has the inflation. They post like 6%, 7% a year, but it's actually much higher than that.
It is much higher.
Like 20%, 25%.
Yeah, it is. I must admit, if I don't always go like to the supermarkets and average shops with my wife because I'm full time. You know.
Yes.
I'm like crazy time, not full time. She's only part time, so she goes and does most of the shopping. But on the odd occasion, I get the itch to go and mosey around or have a look around the supermarkets. It's different. And every time I go, the prices change. So
Yes,
it might
yes,
be,
yes.
a few weeks between my trips.
Do you have kids, children,
No, thankfully, I don't have
girl?
kids because because if I did, my spending power would be cut in by about 90%.
Yes, and one of the points that you can check the inflation by
Yeah,
of is the raise in the children's school. You know,
yeah,
the how may I say,
mm,
the monthly expenses from school, like material, the
yeah. The kids, the day-to-day school expenses for kids,
yes, it's very higher,
yeah, yeah. Say it's much higher rather than very.
much higher.
That's a little thing you
Okay,
tend to say wrong, but
okay,
yeah, like I mean, that's an alien world to me. I don't go looking for kids stuff,
mm-hmm,
I go looking for garden stuff because I live in a chakra. I don't
mm-hmm.
live in a city townhouse. I live in the
Ah,
live in
yes,
the
that's
countryside of
good.
a countryside city. So
Yes,
because that's where I lived in England. I lived in a nice medium-sized city, but I lived in the countryside of it. You know,
yes,
so like the countryside is where all the wealthier people live. People in England don't want to live in the city because it's noisy and it's for
yes,
kids. So if you've got a
yes,
bit of
it
money,
is.
live in the countryside where you can park your Ferrari in a triple garage. So you might have seen this in series or in the United States, maybe if you live in the big cities like New York, yeah, a really cool apartment, a swanky penthouse, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But for those with real money, they'll live in a big, stately home or something in the countryside, far away from the
Yeah,
populace.
that's right.
So
And this is a big dream for many people that I know.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
for me, because I don't see myself here in Brazil when from 10 to 15 years from now.
yeah,
Because if I have the first opportunity to go abroad and
mhm,
get based on whatever, whichever is the country is,
mhm,
I will stay there
mhm.
because I don't see a bright future here for me. Like
No,
uh, uh, I don't have we don't have so much. How may I say
mhm.
certainty here? You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
I think there've been met a lot of people who now live in places like Canada, the US. It's hard to get into the US. It's easier to get into Canada. You
yes,
move to the UK because the
mhm,
UK is quite, um, it is expensive to live there, and it's not that easy now
yes,
to get in. Um, but I think if you've studied there before and you were there as a student, and then you come back again for a job opportunity, and maybe working in a large company, you would get fast tracked. They would say, right, we'll deal with all the,
yes,
we'll take
yes.
that. You just move. So that part of it is good. You're in a large multinational country,
That
which then
helps.
opens those doors,
Hmm.
which
Sure.
can often be difficult for most people who are doing it on their own. So,
Yes.
but as I say, England isn't the place it used to be. What you're left with at the end of the month, depending on what you do, depending on how much of a spendthrift you are, how much you spend in comparison to how much you earn, a
Hmm.
lot of people your age, the younger generation, they spend more than they earn. So it's all on
Yes.
the cards,
I always try to save more than I earn.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
I,
I know that this will affect me very much.
yeah, yeah. Like everybody wants, a Porsche 911 by the time they're 25.
Yes, yes,
And
and I feel like the fiat currency, as
yeah,
I may say, encourages the population to spend more than they earn
yeah.
because the
Mhm.
inflation just go.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, it's the
So
same with most of my
there's no point on saving
family.
it.
Yeah, the people I know. I mean, I'm in a small town, but what I do
Mhm.
know in Brazil is Brazilians are not afraid to spend more than they earn.
Yes, that's true.
Um,
That's a true thing about Brazil.
I think credit card companies must love this place, because in England, it's only really the youngsters that are like that. Once they get to say 25 plus, they realise that actually, if I don't stop spending soon, I'm never going to achieve what I really want to achieve. If
Yes.
they're born into wealth, no, they'll just go spending, spending, spending. But for the vast majority of people, by the time they've even come out of university, they know the value of money.
Hmm.
But I think here, people often either don't know the value of money or don't know the consequence of not
of
treating
their
them with
actions.
respect, their finances with respect. They don't put money aside for a rainy day, you know.
Yes, and it's one of the most important things in our life, like
Mhm,
our monetary energy, how we
mhm,
spend it, how we make decisions with money.
mhm,
I also like see a lot of people like going to different places like uh, Para Paraguay,
mhm,
Thailand, that are most of taxes-free countries. You know,
mhm,
they have
mhm,
a lot more freedom to work abroad and get receive their salary, all of
mhm,
their earnings in a strong currency,
mhm,
and make their savings. You know.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. I think it's a case where, like, living and working in the UK, it was often difficult to save that much because it's not because you don't earn a good salary. It's because you're pulled into a type of lifestyle where everybody's got the best of everything. You want the best house, you want the best car, you want to wear the best clothes,
Mm,
you want to live in the best postcode.
got it.
You know, it was less about the technology, like owning an iPhone or a Samsung top of the line phone or a Google Pixel.
Yes.
People get that anyway. Often the contract they're on their phone, they get the phone for more or less free. They may have to pay like £100 on, $120 for the phone,
Hmm.
but they have to pay 70, £80 a month for the
Yes,
privilege of owning that, and they're on a contract for like 2 years. But they don't care. That's what they do. Everybody does that.
that's true.
Not many people are on pay as you go. But that, like the technology thing, not that people are like, oh, look at me, I've got an iPhone. But nobody cares, you know.
Yes,
But
and I feel like that, like nowadays, like people don't care about this anymore. Like
yeah,
which brand is your phone?
yeah,
Because I always try to how may I say it? Not spend so much of my salary and save it up more, but like
mhm,
I do not have the best cell phone. I
mhm,
just have one that allows me to do my work and to communicate with other people, like having other opportunities. Because having a better cell phone and spending more like on a brand new iPhone
mhm.
is gonna do nothing for me.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be like the same
It's a
thing.
tool. It's like me. I probably spend more money on my hobbies than I do on my.
Yeah, that's true.
But my hobby is like making things. So most of the stuff I buy
Mm,
are like tools. So
tools.
yeah, like
Tools for what?
carpentry tools and things like that. I love it
Mm,
because my job is sat down at a desk all day. So
yes, yes,
I get too fat if I don't have a hobby that has a bit of
yes,
physicality, a bit of gardening equipment. I'm looking at
yes, that's
lawnmowers,
true.
and I'm looking. So
And
yeah,
you also have the freedom to like living in a how may I say a chakra,
yeah, yeah,
and you have this freedom to have more space for you to like do gardening,
yeah,
to
yeah,
take care of your house,
absolutely.
because here in the city there's no space for that. Like
No,
I have a big house thanks to my father,
yeah,
but we don't have so much space like as you may do.
mhm, yeah,
And there's not so much freedom
mhm,
to like make changes in the house and
mhm,
do
yeah,
gardening.
yeah,
So that's a very negative point about living here in the city.
mhm, yeah. Everybody's on top of each other. That's something I've never enjoyed.
Yes,
Um,
it's how may I say, it's the city is very crowded,
yeah,
not only about people crowding the traffic, but
mhm,
if you see the horizon, there's no horizon. It's
yeah.
like just houses and buildings and
That's it. It's a bit intrusive, I would say. You
yes.
feel that everybody's on
So
top of each other. You know.
that's why I don't see myself like living here in 10 years. I want
Mhm,
to go abroad, like having more freedom
mhm,
to spend my
mhm,
monetary energy on something that will really bring freedom to me, to my family, and
mhm.
peace. Because
Yeah,
here in the city is total chaos,
yeah,
and I think no one can support this for a long time, a long
yeah.
period.
I think if I were in your shoes, maybe you've heard this idiom before. If I were in your shoes, I would probably consider somewhere like Italy.
Italy.
Italy is an incredible place.
Yeah.
I've traveled quite a lot there. Holidays,
Hmm.
you know, Milan, Rome, and a few other places. And the general lifestyle there is fabulous. You know,
Yeah.
there are large parts
That's
of
good.
Italy that are not as advanced as
It's a
the
good
UK,
idea.
but if it's something where you can earn, you know, a European salary, a good one, what you do with it, you know, and the lifestyle that they live there, France, Italy, you know, parts of Spain, I think it's better than the UK. We've run out of time, Nick. So thank you for your
Goodbye. Thank